migrants not being able to be housed. But my understanding is that although the mayor did communicate to the state their willingness to make the facility available, that it's not a completely done deal, and so we're still exploring.
So at yesterday's meeting, Supervisor Diane Jacob voted no on the proposal to find places to house migrants.
I can't help to think, what about our homeless veterans that are on the street? They're our own people. And I looked at some statistics, and it's kind of alarming to me because I think we've done a lousy job in dealing with our own.
How do you respond to members of the public who share Jacob's sentiment that there are hundreds of homeless San Diegans on the streets? You know, why should local government spend money and resources on migrants when we've got a homeless problem?
You know, there's probably no issue that I'm more passionate about than homelessness. I also, as the CEO of Jewish Family Service, I sit on the board of the Regional Task Force for the Homeless. So, and we're a homeless provider here in San Diego, and so I understand that perspective. I live in a neighborhood where I see homeless every day, wherever I walk. It is significant. It is probably the human service issue facing San Diego, and so I completely agree with Supervisor Jacobs. And so we can say that we have a homeless problem, and we do have a homeless problem, and we need to address that. But the numbers are such. We've already served about 4,500 individuals since we've started in the last 2 months. I mean, even if 20 or 30 per day slip through the cracks, that would at such a rapid rate increase our homeless population here in San Diego. And so this is a bit of a preemptive or preventive work, and it's probably as critical. And you know, the county is sitting on resources. We know that, and we heard Nathan Fletcher talk about that. It's you know that the county does have the capacity if they wanted to. And so I appreciate her perspective, and I actually appreciate a meeting anytime we can call attention to the needs of homeless.
And what about funding? Have you secured enough funding to keep the shelter going?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question. So from the very beginning, there were kind of two sides to this coin. We needed a space and we needed funding. And space without a funding isn't a deal, and funding without space doesn't work. And so there's this like two parts of the puzzle. And so yesterday when the supervisors said, you know, we'll help find space, that's a really critical issue. We still need space, but we still need funding. Funding is a really critical part of this. Running a shelter is expensive. It's a 24/7 operation. It's about probably between $300,000 if not plus per month. The state has made some dollars available for case management. We've raised about $600,000-$700,000 through foundations and individual donors. But this is not a way to run a shelter, to be out there actively trying to raise money at the same time that we're trying to take care of folks. So we do need funding. We're hopeful that potentially this week or in the coming weeks that the new governor will announce that there's some funding coming in. But in terms of your question, in terms of the future, it's really difficult to figure out what the short, mid, and long-term plan is. What is clear that this is San Diego. We're a border town, largest border crossing in the world. It's actually kind of interesting to note that there is no asylum-seeking shelter, no migrant shelter on the side of the border. I think what this crisis has helped us see is the lack of that type of facility here in San Diego. I mean, there will always be asylum seekers coming across this border, and we probably need to think long-term.
I've been joined by Michael Hopkins, the Chief Executive Officer with Jewish Family Service. Michael, thanks so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Coming up, we've heard concerns about the way radioactive waste is being stored at San Onofre. Today, we asked the chair of Edison's Community Engagement Panel to respond to some of those fears. And a new book is out that argues nuclear power is our best bet to slow global warming. It is 12:21, and you're listening to KPBS Midday Edition.
Live in the KPBS newsroom, I'm Deb Welsh. President Donald Trump is using a bill signing focused on curbing human trafficking to push his case for a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. Democrats, meantime, have called Trump's promised wall costly, ineffective, and immoral, and say he's manufacturing a crisis. California Governor Gavin Newsom has responded to a threat by President Trump to withhold federal money intended to help the state cope with wildfires. Earlier today, Trump said the money would be withheld unless the state improves its forest management practices. Newsom, a Democrat, says disaster and recovery are no time for politics. Toyota is recalling 1.3 million vehicles in the U.S. to replace potentially deadly Takata front passenger airbag inflators. The move announced today is part of the largest series of automotive recalls in U.S. history. The recall includes multiple Toyota, Scion, and Lexus vehicles from the 2010 through 2017 model years. Amazon founder and CEO Jeff Bezos says he and his wife Mackenzie have decided to divorce after 25 years of marriage. The decision to divorce comes after a trial separation. Left unanswered, one of the biggest sticking points in any divorce, how the assets amassed during the marriage will be divided. Now, your updated forecast from the Weather Channel.
Well, we're dry here this afternoon and fine weather expected through the day tomorrow. Clouds will start to increase on Friday, and rain showers will start to build into Southern California starting Friday night and lingering through the day on Saturday. I think we will get some sunshine in, though, Saturday afternoon. Another disturbance early next week looks to bring more showers back into Southern California as we kick off the new week. Partly cloudy here this afternoon, mid-60s today. A few clouds for tonight as our lows drop into the lower 50s. Sunshine for tomorrow, mid-60s for highs. Clouds on the increase for Friday, with Friday's high in the mid-60s. Showers likely Friday night, lingering into Saturday. Highs in the low 60s. Sunday, clouds in the forecast. Temperatures in the low and mid-60s. Weather reports made possible by Hornblower Cruises and Events. You can reserve an on-the-water venue for parties or corporate events with 360-degree views to San Diego Bay. Visit hornblower.com. Richard Lettigan, the Weather Channel.
Scott Bass is also here with our surf report.
Good afternoon. Northwest winds at 8 to 10 miles per hour. A strong North Pacific swell filling in Ventura and Los Angeles. Already massive. The surf here 4 to 6 feet from the west-northwest. The San Nicolas buoy off of Oceanside has 14 feet at 18 seconds. It's a bit inconsistent. It is coming. Let's call it shoulder to head high now. Well overhead by sunset. And a low tide 5:27 p.m. a 0.0. And this new expert